I lived an entire 10-year lifetime during a 10-minute reality glitch. It all started in college, when a casual pickup football game suddenly turned violent. A brutal hit to my jaw sent me crashing onto the concrete sidewalk, knocking me completely unconscious. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't on the pavement anymore. A beautiful young woman was leaning over me, helping me up. We hit it off instantly and fell deeply in love. Within a few years, we graduated, got married, and bought a beautiful suburban home. Soon, we welcomed a baby girl, followed by a son 2 years later. For nearly 10 entire years, my life was absolute bliss. I remembered everything in vivid detail. The smell of my wife's perfume, our children's laughter echoing through the halls, teaching my son to throw a baseball, and the everyday joy of being a father. My family was my entire universe. Then, one ordinary evening, everything shattered. I was sitting on the couch while my wife read a book next to me. My eyes drifted to a standard floor lamp in the corner. Something felt terribly wrong. The light didn't cast shadows correctly, and the lamp completely lacked three-dimensional depth. It looked entirely flat, like a cheap drawing taped over reality. I couldn't look away. My fixation turned into a terrifying obsession. I stopped eating and working, staring at the lamp for 16 hours a day. My wife grew frantic, weeping and begging me to speak to her, but her voice sounded like it was underwater. Eventually, the lamp expanded, filling my entire field of vision. The walls warped into deep red and orange hues, and my wife's distant screams faded into absolute nothingness. Suddenly, a violent jolt shocked my system. I gasped for air, opening my eyes to find myself flat on my back on the cold college concrete. A crowd of terrified students looked down at me, and the player who hit me was kneeling nearby, looking frantic. Only 10 minutes had passed in the real world. There was no house, no career, no wife, and no children. They were all the product of a hyper-realistic hallucination, triggered by a severe concussion. In a single second, I had watched a decade of my life, and the people I loved most vanish into thin air. I spiraled into a deep depression for over 3 years, grieving a family that never actually existed. I would stay awake at night, crying, desperately trying to remember the faces of my kids before they faded away. Even now, whenever I walk through a crowded place, my eyes automatically scan the crowd. I am still subconsciously searching for a glimpse of a daughter and son I raised for 10 years, but who were nothing more than a trick of my mind.